Bonsoir à tous, merci d'être venus. Je suis Gaëlle, la présidente de l'association, et je tenais tout d'abord à vous remercier d'être ici. Je vais vous faire un tout petit speech avant de commencer et de lancer nos acteurs. Déjà, vous avez pu apercevoir des petites enveloppes sur le coin des rangées. On est une association étudiante, donc notre budget est un peu serré. Donc si vous voulez et que vous pouvez surtout faire une petite donation, ce serait grandement apprécié pour lancer le projet de l'année prochaine. Également, pendant la pièce, comme vous avez pu voir sur les affiches, c'est vous qui décidez qui sera la coupable, si Mère Gothel est la coupable ou non. Du coup, on vous demandera une petite participation vocale à la fin. Le juge, qui sera juste derrière moi, vous demandera si elle est coupable ou non, et on vous demandera de décider. Et on peut pouvoir lancer nos acteurs, et bon spectacle.
Session. The Honorable Judge Lawson presiding.
Please be seated. Bailiff.
The case of Mother Gothel versus Crown of Corona is now ready for trial, Honor.
All right. So, I understand that the charge against Mrs. Gothel are the kidnapping of a member of the royal family, abuse of the state of witness, murder attempt, and witchcraft. Are both sides all ready to proceed?
Good morning. My name is Taylor Henderson, and I represent the prosecution in this case. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
Good day, everyone. I am Harper Locust, and I am representing Mrs. Gothel, the defendant in this case. The defense is also more than ready, Your Honor.
Will the bailiff please swear in the jury?
Yes, Your Honor. Tonight, you, the audience, will play the part of the jury. At the end of the trial, we will ask you to find Miss Gothel guilty or not. Thank you for partaking in this trial. Now, will the juror please stand and raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear that you will listen to all the testimonies today and decide the issues fairly? Do you swear that you will not discuss this case with anyone until after you have reached a verdict? Thank you. You may be seated.
Does the prosecution have an opening statement?
Yes, Your Honor. My client, Rapunzel, is here before you to obtain justice for all the atrocities she has suffered as a child. A child. Her whole life has been nothing but a lie. And the responsible is here with us tonight. Mother Gothel. A manipulative, selfish, and scrupulous woman. These adjectives are not enough to describe the cruelty of her character. This person right here had the brilliant idea of kidnapping an infant, of taking a newborn, tearing her away from her mother's arms, and keeping her locked up in her tower for 18 years. And yet, it is not thanks to her goodwill that Rapunzel is with us here tonight. If it had just been for Mother Gothel, she would have kept it locked up until she died. And why do all this, you may ask yourself? Only for the most selfish of reasons, to be young forever and keep her immortality thanks to the powers found in Rapunzel's hair. How selfish do you have to be to keep a person locked up, barely alive, and yes, I do dare say barely alive, because how else would you describe keeping a young woman in a less than 30 square meter space for 18 years? Ladies and gentlemen, I do believe that this trial, in which we're all present tonight, is going to make history. My client Rapunzel is here with us, alive and well, only because of her courage and bravery, which allowed her to escape. But imagine if she didn't have the guts to escape and run away. And imagine the pain and sadness her parents suffered during all these years and still suffer now, thinking of all the cruelties she must have lived through at the hand of Mother Gothel. Mother Gothel abused the weakness and helplessness of a newborn baby. The charges against her are endless. Kidnapping, child abuse and exploitation, witchcraft, attempted murder, and so on. And keep in mind that this woman did all those things for purely personal interests. She must be liable for all the damages she caused, because nothing can make up for all the lost time of the royal family, and nothing can repair the psychological impacts and after effects on Rapunzel, on the king, and on the queen. She must be held accountable of her actions if found guilty of all the charges. I do not think I can add much more, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson. Does the barrister for the defendant have an opening statement?
Sure. All right. My client, Mother Gothel, must not be found guilty. What is her problem? What seems to be the problem? She is nothing but a kind mother to a child she took in, found. She just wanted to raise a kid she couldn't have been able to have on her own. This was a childhood dream that came true. Is that a bad thing? I don't think so. Do you? Do you? Yes, no, nobody thinks so. I just think my colleague went overboard. His salary is getting to his head. Orphanage of a crowd. Why couldn't Mother Gothel adopt Rapunzel and raise her? Raising a child is not a crime. Oh, there will be a lot of criminals here tonight. However, defamation is punished by the law. Oh, what a shame. The prosecution talked about abuse. What abuse? What abuse? Goddamn, what abuse? Sorry. Must I remind you that she saved Rapunzel's life? A life savior is what she is, not an abuser. Why couldn't Mother Gothel adopt Rapunzel and raise her? When her so-called parents wouldn't even take care of her. My clients gave her everything, the love, the care she lacked. That's it. I'm done. I did it. Thank you.
All right. So, the prosecution may call its first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. The prosecution call His Majesty, the greatest sovereign of the Kingdom of Verona, the King Frederick von der Son.
Please, state your full name for the record.
I am the King of Corona.
Please, state your full name for the record.
My name is Frederick Alfred Edward Arthur Richard von der Son.
Please stand. Raise your right hand. Do you promise that the testimony you shall give in the case before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You may be seated.
Mr. Your Majesty, the King, Could you describe your relationship with Miss Rapunzel?
Rapunzel. Rapunzel is my sweet daughter, the greatest gift life gave me.
Yes, the greatest gift. However, she was taken away from you, isn't that right?
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor. The defense is leading the witness.
Objection sustained. I will ask the jury to ignore that last statement. Mr. Anderson, do you have any actual question?
My apologies, Your Honor. Your Majesty, I know it must hurt to remember such a tragedy, but could you tell us what happened exactly? How was Rapunzel taken away from you?
Well, it all happened when she was a few weeks old. She was sleeping in her crib. My wife and I were in our room. And when we came to check on her, she was gone. The kidnapper had climbed up the castle's walls, entered the bedroom, and escaped through the window with my little pumpkin.
And what did you do when you realized that your daughter Rapunzel had disappeared?
I looked everywhere for her. I ordered all the guards and soldiers to go and search for her in every part of the kingdom. Houses were searched, controls were made all over the seaports, the ships were checked, we questioned every citizen, tried to find any witness, but nothing. We couldn't find anything. She just vanished, and Rapunzel, your father is so sorry. Sorry I didn't protect you enough. I am the king, and I failed to find my daughter.
I am so sorry for you, Your Highness. But even if you, the king, were unable to find your own daughter, then it must mean that Mother Gothel had planned everything ahead, had planned everything so that she could not be found and escape.
Your Honor, objection. He's doing it again.
Objection sustained. I'm warning you, Mr. Anderson. The court will strike that last statement from the record.
Apologies, Your Honor. Let me rephrase. Your Majesty, would you know who would have the audacity to kidnap your daughter?
No, I wouldn't.
On the other hand, have you ever met Mother Gothel before?
No.
And had you ever heard of her?
No, never.
Therefore, you wouldn't know why she would have kidnapped your daughter if this proves to be the case.
Right. At the time, I thought it was because she was a princess and that her kidnapper wanted money, but nobody ever asked for a ransom. I didn't know that the flower that healed my wife would give her healing powers, and that it would make her even more vulnerable and exposed to danger. I didn't know someone would want to kidnap her to harvest her powers.
Right. Because if not for money, then why would Mother Gothel kidnap the king's daughter? Well, the answer is quite simple. Because she's a witch. She wants the power held in Rapunzel's hair. She only ever cared about herself and her own interests.
Do you have any further question for me?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Does the defense wish to ask any question for the witness?
Yes, Your Honor. Hello. I am Mr. Locost, lawyer, barrister, sometimes joker.
Your Honor, this is a serious case.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Please leave the jokes aside. Mr. Joker. I mean Mr. Locost.
Yes, sorry. Mr. King, you don't know, you said your daughter, she was sleeping and then BAM! Gone. Is that right? With all due respect?
Yes, she was kidnapped in her sleep.
But I didn't ask where she was, Mr. King. Why was that baby alone?
I don't know.
She was a baby. Babies need care, love, and food, obviously. But yes, there is plenty of food in your castle. But babies also need supervision. Is that right?
Yes.
So why was she not under your supervision, under your monitoring? Supervision and monitoring are synonyms. witness, by the way. I could have also used surveillance. Did you know that? And you? Did you too?
Your Honor, objection. This is irrelevant questioning.
Objection overruled. Mr. Anderson, I allow it. Mr. Lacoste?
Yes?
I knew they were synonym. Mr. Lacoste?
Yes.
We are not here to joke around. Please continue to question the witness.
Yes, yes, sorry. So, you said you didn't know why Rapunzel disappeared. BAM! Right?
That's right.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Mr. Anderson, are there any other witnesses you would like to call?
Yes, Your Honor. The prosecution calls Mr. Maximus to the stand.
Can you state your full name for the record?
My name is Maximus, the stallion of the plain and chief assistant of His Majesty.
We do not take nicknames, sir.
What nicknames are you talking about?
The stallion of the plains? Tell me your name again, please.
My name is Maximus, just Maximus.
Thank you very much.
Great. Let's start.
Rapunzel, I missed you so much.
Mr. Maximus, please, I would like you to stay focused.
Of course.
First of all, how is your relationship with Miss Rapunzel?
Perfect.
Would you care to elaborate, please?
She is a real sweet angel, and no one can come between our amazing friendship.
So, you would say that Rapunzel is an innocent young woman who under no circumstances would defame such serious accusations?
Objection, Lady Your Honor. Lady Your Honor. Is it the witness giving evidence here, or is the lawyer?
Objection sustained.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, let me rephrase. How would you describe Rapunzel?
She is an innocent young woman who under no circumstances defames such serious accusation. How dare you talking about that, about my sweet Rapunzel?
All right. Hold your horses, please. Have you ever known her to lie?
No, Rapunzel not the type to lie.
Objection. Speculation, Your Honor. This is a subjective opinion of the witness about the victim. There is no actual proof that she isn't lying. Not that she is, but this is just a personal fact.
Objection overruled. She took an oath. Please continue, Mr. Anderson.
Thank you, Your Honor. Has Rapunzel ever told you about her mother?
Yes, well, I mean not a real mother since she had been kidnapped, but she told me a lot about her fake mother.
Oh yes, and what did she tell you about her?
She told me that she had been locked away, supposedly to protect her from the outside world. She was completely lost, poor thing. But she felt free when traveling with me.
She mostly wanted to hide her away from the outside world, if I may say so.
Objection. Playing hide and seek is not a crime.
Objection overruled. This is not acceptable that a professional like you would make such a childish and irrelevant objection.
Almost did it.
Please continue, Mr. Anderson.
You do sound a little hoarse, Mr. Maximus.
I swear you're right. And I know what I'm talking about as a horse.
All right. Where was I?
You said that Rapunzel was the love of my life.
Excuse me? Can you please stop interrupting me? I'm the one asking the questions here.
She is the love of my life. You're just a fucking horse.
Hey, get off of your high horse.
Speak for yourself.
Enough! If you keep going on, you will each receive a warning, as well as a fine for contempt of court. Is that clear?
Yes,
Yes, Your Honor.
Control! Yourself, gentlemen. Mr. Anderson, do you have any other question for the witness?
No, Your Honor. I have no further questions.
Good. Does the defense wish to examine the witness?
Yes, Your Honor, we join.
Then you may proceed.
So, from what you just said, you seem to be the prince's best friend. Is that so?
Yes, I do.
And if that doesn't come at the right time? I mean, you must know her very well, right?
Yes, like we always know each other.
And since when do you know her?
It must have been 2 years now.
2 years? I didn't know you can get to know people so well in such a short time. Whereas I still haven't spoken to my roommate in 5 years. Are you sure you do know her that well?
Yes.
You don't seem so sure about what you're saying.
Yeah, no, you're twisting questions that are twisting my brain.
I know. Am I not really good at cross-examination? For a first time. But I'm not the one who's twisting your brain here. They are. And who can blame you to follow their orders when they decide your future, whether it's Palace Guard or Slaughterhouse? Human says decide your fate. And let's be honest, how can you get to know Rapunzel so well in such a short time? When couple who think they know everything about each other end up divorcing after years and years of living together. My poor married life has been so short. Oh, this emotional moment has made me forget what I was saying. Do you know anything about how she lived with her mother? How could you know if you've known her for like 2 years?
Rapunzel's not the type to lie. What she could do that?
I don't know, and that is not my question. But if I really had to answer that, I would say that you never really know a person until they show you their dark side. A villain does not need a reason to act. But to get back on the topic of Rapunzel, you can certify, since you've known her for like 2 years, you can certify to 100% that she wouldn't lie about what she went through with her mother.
Yes.
And you could certainly not say that what she went through is real, as you have never seen her interaction with her fake mother, as you call her, before today.
Yeah, it's true that I never seen the fake mother, but...
I have no further questions.
Please calm down, Mr. Lagos. Well, you are excused, sir. The prosecution may call its third witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. The prosecution calls Mr. Fitzherbert by his full name. Eugène Fitzherbert. All right, I'm sorry, I'm not French, nor do I speak French, which is a shame, by the way.
Please, state your full name for the record.
I am Eugène Fitzherbert, also known as Flea-Rider.
Raise your right hand. Do you promise that the testimony you shall give in the case before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. I'll do anything to unveil the truth.
Yeah, you may be seated.
Mr. Fitzherbert, what is your relationship with Mrs. Rapunzel? Mr. Fitzherbert, I asked you a question. How are you related to Miss van der Sar?
She's the apple of my heart, the most kind-hearted woman I've ever known.
Sir, I didn't ask you to declare your wedding vows. Why do I always find myself in such situations? Anyway, how did you meet Mother Gothel?
How did we encounter for the first time? She tried to kill me with a 10-inch knife. She tried to stab Rapunzel, but I stopped her, so she tried to kill me. It wouldn't be such a little trial, but a murder trial. She stabbed me with a 10-inch knife right in the back, right here. And the blood was dripping abundantly. And it's still very painful. I can still feel the wounds aching. Not that horrendous. My beautiful back. So many ladies would be right now on their knees for this beautiful back. Not that I need any of them, huh? But now people look at me in horror when they see it. But it's very difficult because I can't do anything about it.
And whose fault is it?
Mother Gothel!
And how do you feel today?
I'm undeniably still traumatized. Even though I look unbeatable and strong, I'm still traumatized.
Your Honor, may I submit a report on the psychological impact of the attack on Mr. Ryder as the plaintiff's exhibit number 1?
Yeah, you may.
Thank you. As per the report, you have been going to therapy ever since you've been attacked because of a post-traumatic stress disorder. Apparently, you feel better now?
Yes, my therapist helped me a lot. I have less nightmares now, I sleep better.
And does Rapunzel have anything to do with your recovery? I mean, has anyone helped you with your recovery?
Well, Rapunzel definitely helped me. She's such a lovely woman.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Does the defense have anything to ask to this witness?
Yes, Yana, we have. I mean, I
Then,
have.
go ahead.
I must say, you seem to be quite strong. Don't you agree?
Not to be pretentious or anything, but I would say, yes, I am.
And would you say that you are very robust?
I have to maintain myself for my princess.
But if you are as strong as you said, how could my client, this nice old lady, have stabbed you without you avoiding it? And by the way, how could you say that my client was the one who stabbed you if you were turning your back from her? I mean, from what you were showing, you won't seem to be on your back, right? And if your back was facing the criminal, you could not have seen the face, right?
She wanted to stab Rapunzel, so I jumped to protect her. I saw her. It was her.
But Rapunzel may have played a trick on you, and it was her plan all along. But you did not notice it.
How dare you!
Please, calm down. You are in a courtroom. Do you have another question for Mr. right here?
No, I don't. It's okay.
Well, you are...
Wait a second. Actually, I do have other questions. But his aggressive outburst made me forget what I wanted to ask him for a second. Can I please continue?
Yeah, you can! However, this is the first and last time I will allow you to do so.
Thank you, Joanna. You're the best. So, I wanted to ask you a few questions about your relationship with Rapunzel.
Yes, and?
When did you first meet her?
I was in the forest. I was at the bottom of the tower. She threw a beautiful long blonde hair so I could climb up.
Her long hair? But from what I can see, her hair is barely reaching her feet.
And whose fault is it? Your client. And what does it have to do with my attempted murder?
Oh, well, I was just about to ask you what you were doing in such a remote part of the forest.
Well... I heard a voice, someone singing, la 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 la, and I followed it. I followed the voice. That's how I found the tower.
So you weren't running away from the palace guard at all, were
Objection,
you?
Your Honor. This is irrelevant questioning and has nothing to do with the case.
Objection sustained. Please refrain from making up claims that do not have any interest with the case. Or reformulate your statement.
Yes.
Yes, sorry, Your Honor.
Can I please add this wanted poster to be marked as People Exhibit A?
Oh, wow! Wow! You may.
Thank you. This is a wanted poster asking for this witness to be arrested in exchange for a reward for stealing the princess crown. You see, dear jurors, the word of this man cannot be trusted since he's just a criminal who only knows how to lie to avoid trouble. So how can you trust him? How can we believe the fact that he was stabbed in the back by my poor client, who's already struggling to stand on her own 2 feet? I mean, if the only proof of this trickery is his word, I beg you not to believe his nonsense. That's it. I've said what I have to say, Your Honor.
I hope you did so. You're excused, young man. Mr. Anderson, do you have any other witnesses to call?
Yes, Your Honor. The prosecution calls Rapunzel von der Sun to the stand.
Please, state your full name for the record.
Rapunzel van der Sun.
Please stand. Raise your right hand. Do you promise that the testimony you shall give in the case before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You may be seated.
Miss von der Sun, could you tell us how you felt while you were with Mrs. Gothel?
I felt alone. I wanted to see the world. I wanted to meet new friends, and I wanted to see the lanterns. I had my painting and my imagination, but it was never enough.
Why was it not enough?
I felt like a prisoner in my own home, like a bird in a cage. Well, in a tower actually, but...
And how did you make you feel not to be able to go outside?
It felt suffocating, and it hurted me. There wasn't a day where I didn't yearn for adventure. My dreams were filled to do with things outside the tower.
How did you feel when you finally managed to escape from that doll tower?
At first, it felt like I was doing something wrong, as if I had committed a crime by disobeying Mother Gothel. But then I felt free, so free, as if I could finally breathe. The world was far greater than I could ever imagine. Growing up, there wasn't a day where I didn't want to meet new people, and I wondered how the grass would feel under my feet and the flow of the river through my toes. But I was robbed of all that, confined in an unreachable tower, and when I was finally out, I was able to see the lantern that I dreamt to see every year, that were launched on my birthday, and it felt like a breath of fresh air that I'd been holding on for far too long, and I finally let it go. Henceforth, I was free and truly living.
Have you ever told Mother Gothel about your desire to go outside?
Yes, I did, but she claimed it was too dangerous and that I shouldn't go out, and I had anything I needed inside anyway.
And how did that make you feel?
It made me feel sad, oppressed, and lonely.
Objection, Your Honor. She confuses the issues of the trial with her mental health problems.
Objection overruled.
She talks about loneliness and sadness determining elements in mental health problems.
Objection overruled! And Miss Vanderson, please refrain from using your frying pan. You can continue, Mr. Anderson.
Thank you, Your Honor, but I have no further questions.
All right. So, does the defense have any question for Miss Vanderson?
I, as a matter of fact, do, Your Honor. So, we were able to hear what happened from Mr. Maximus and Mr. Euclid. Therefore, I would like to focus more on the feelings you've experienced, since your feelings matter and everything. Like our jury would probably love to hear more about it. Anyway, how was it growing up with your mother?
It was lonely, I'd say. I'm glad I was able to befriend Pascal.
Wow. But, don't you have fond memories of her? Didn't she play with you? Taught you how to write? How to read? Didn't she let you paint the walls? Make more candles than you can light up? And more?
Well, yes, she did, but
I would like to focus more on those moments. Because you talked about all the other moments, but not about these ones. But they still happened, you know. We can't ignore them like we ignore hunger in Africa. The IPPC report on Nicolas Sarkozy's fired biography. So, how did that make you feel then?
Wait. Mr. Sarkozy, read the new book? I am sorry. Please answer the question, Vanderson.
I was happy, yes, and I've learned a lot of things with her. We had a lot of fun, but...
Indeed. Now, how often do you think about those moments?
What? What kind of question is that?
Please answer the question, Miss Vanderson.
Sometimes, yes, sometimes.
And would you happen to miss those moments?
Why? Why would I?
Well, they happen to be precious mother-daughter bonding moments. The kind you can only live once in your life with a person so dear to your heart. Excuse me, I'm getting emotional. I have an idea. Why don't you tell us more about the moments you spent with her? Like the time she was brushing your gorgeous hair. I am certain it will help us all understand more.
Oh, well, we used to sit together and she would brush my hair. She was really gentle. It was magical. I mean, literally. We would sing our song together and my hair would glow. And the room was just more, I don't know how to explain it.
Indeed. To me, only the power of love can have that effect. Love, ladies and gentlemen. Love, Miss Rapunzel. Do you happen to perhaps miss those moments?
Yes. Yes, I do.
See, can you see, my dear child? We were so happy together, living far away from any problems, any evil, and they were quiet, pleasant, harmonious. It was a gift from us, a gift that we got, and that we cannot throw away, a gift we should be enjoying. How could you do that to us, my dear child? How could you force us to give up this precious gift?
That's enough!
What happened?
What the hell? What did just happen?
Silence! Good. The trial is adjourned. I order a 2-hour break for everyone to regain continence and calm down so we can continue with a clear mind.
Close. I've never seen magic in my life before, you know. I'm quite a magician myself. But I'm more into cards and rabbits and hats. Not so much into demonic rituals.
You fool! You were supposed to be the one taking advantage of the situation. Why am I paying you so much money for nothing? Come, let's not play our cards now, shall we?
Will you be alright, Princess?
I honestly don't know. Being in front of her reminded me of so many things, good memories and bad memories. And just because sometimes I miss it doesn't mean that I want to go back. I have my mother now, my real mom. I don't know, everything is just so exhausting.
I understand. And I'm glad the judge gave us this break. He's a bit of a nut, but I hope he's got enough gumption not to think that this woman is an angel.
Can we just please stop talk about it for a moment?
Yes, of course, I'm sorry. I'll let you regain your senses. Would you wish for something to drink or something to eat as well?
Just something to drink, please. I'm not in a good shape to eat anything right now, but maybe once we're finished.
All right, no problem. Don't move. I'll be right back.
I don't know why this trial seemed like a good idea. Maybe we shouldn't have.
I'm glad, my child, that you feel remorse.
Mother, Gothel.
Oh, you don't want to call me like you used to? I miss it. Just seeing you here today has made me so happy I forgot all my feelings about this trial. My dear daughter, it's been such a short time, and at the same time it's been forever. Why won't you answer me?
Why? What difference would it make? Have you ever even listened to me once?
Please, don't be this perplexing. I was only doing it to protect you.
To protect me from what? From whom? From the people who love me for who I truly am, and not what I am.
Of course not, my angel. I love you, and I've always loved you. Why else would I take you in bed and child if not because I love you?
So you're still denying that you kidnapped me?
I'm not denying it because I've never done it. It's true. I found you by the side of the road, sleeping peacefully, as your beautiful hair shone with light.
But isn't it my hair that kept you young and alive?
What nonsense are you talking about?
I saw it for myself when my hair was cut. Your beautiful face was gone and strewn with wrinkles, so much like you look like a grandmother now.
What could these people have put into your bread? You poor thing. I missed you so much.
Well, I didn't.
Oh, really? You expect me to believe that you don't feel a little bit sad seeing me in such a state? Me, your mom, the one who raised you for the most of your life? I don't believe you. But that's okay. I can understand it can be difficult for you to accept that these people are lying to you, to hide the mistake and protect you from everything else. Why are you sure you want to continue?
What are you doing here? The defense has no business being here with my client. Go away. Stop trying to get my pity from my client. Go back to your apprentice of a lawyer. The trial will start again soon.
Hey! What happened in the courtroom?
The defense is trying to manipulate my client.
What are you shouting? I'm just talking to my daughter. My client has the right to speak. If I'm not mistaken, freedom of speech is a understand, Mr. Lacoste?
Yes, I have one more question, Your Honor.
How did you proceed?
Miss Van der Steen, sorry. You blame your mother.
She's not my mother, she's an imposture.
You blame your mother for hiding your castle life from you. Do you seriously think that this is a reasonable reason to take your mother figure to court?
We are talking about my family, my story. Yes, I had some good memories with her, but I suffered more from her lies.
And so you think that slandering the way she raised you is the best solution? Because in the meantime you can have your little teenage crisis. But the only one who has really been taken care of you this last few years is my client. I have no further questions.
You are excused.
Well.
The prosecution rests their case, Your Honor.
Mr. Lacoste?
Yes?
You may call your first witness.
Yes, Your Honor.
So?
Oh, yes. So the defense calls Mrs. Magdalene Willem to the stand.
Oh gosh.
Next step. There we go. Thank you. Good job.
Please, state your full name for the record.
Magdalene Willem.
Please stand. Raise your right hand. Do you promise that the testimony you shall give in the case before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God?
I do.
You may be seated.
Can I start my examination?
Of course! Isn't it your job?
Yes, of course it is. Good morning, Mrs. Willem. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Did you eat well at lunch?
What does it have to do with today's matter? You forgot your plea?
No, never. Everything is prepared. So, what are your interpersonal relational close and proximate or distant and far off?
I beg your pardon?
What is your relationship with the defendant?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand that.
Great, it was very clear.
No, I'm sorry. Well, I've known Gothel for years now. She is very loyal to my market. She is one of my best friends.
In short, she's your best friend.
We can put it that way.
We'll put it that way then.
All right.
And, would you say that she's a good mother or an excellent mother?
She's a very kind and loving and amazing mother.
This is so sweet. Wouldn't we all wish a mother like her?
I do, but mine died, eaten by wild boars.
Oh crap.
Life is predictable.
True, I like you.
I think it's mutual.
Oh. So, how would you describe your friend's personality? She must be a great person.
And she is. Gothel is a very kind and protective person.
And how did you meet her?
Oh, I met her at the market. One time she came to buy beers, but since no one was buying milk at my stand this day, I started talking with her. And one thing led to another, and we started being friends and close friends.
A small, noxious encounter for your greatest happiness.
Absolutely. She's very protective.
She is, in fact, very protective. And protecting is not synonymous with torturing, but with loving.
That's what all mothers do.
See? no charges against her should be held. Believe it or not, Mother Gothel behaved like a mother. And this is not a crime. I think I'm going to cry. I am moved by myself, by so much intelligence. I'm going to take a break.
All right. Does the defense wish to ask any questions?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. Mrs. Wilhelm, you've known Mother Gothel for a long time now, haven't you?
Yes. Always buying 3 gallons of milk.
Yes. Mrs. von der Son has been kidnapped around 20 years ago, which means that she spent the following 18 years as Mother Gothel's child. And during all this time, you've seen her at least weekly, isn't that right?
Yes.
And you've talked weekly, correct?
Absolutely.
What did you talk about?
About everything and anything. You know, I like to know my clients are doing and all that they went. And we gossip a lot, doesn't everyone? But since she's a bit of a recluse, there wasn't a lot to talk about. But we like to talk about their milestones and celebrate them together.
Well, you've talked about milestones. Mrs. von der Son must have reached quite a number of them. Isn't that right? Has she ever talked to you about those?
Well, not really.
But I thought that was the kind of information you share with your friends, especially since Rapunzel here is supposed to be Mother Gothel's main priority. Did you even know about Rapunzel's existence at all?
Well, now that you're pointing it out, I'm not sure. To be honest, I wasn't even sure if the kid was a boy or girl until recently. But that doesn't change the fact that she's an amazing and protective mother.
Well, yeah, you've just said she was a mother, but you don't know the last detail about her life, the life of the kid she supposedly raised. Why is that? Maybe she didn't want people to get suspicious about the identity of the kid she may have kidnapped and kept locked up in a hidden tower in the deep end of a dangerous forest.
I cannot let you say that about my friend.
Ma'am, this is a court of law. Do not let your emotion get a hold of yourself. Please, keep going, Mr. Anderson.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mrs. Wilhelm, would you be able to tell us for exactly how long you've known Mrs. Gothel?
Well, if I remember correctly, when I started helping my mother at the farm, she was already coming. 70 years ago, I think.
70 years ago. And how old was she when you met her all those years ago?
Well, I'd say in her mid-40s.
And has she aged at all during all those years you've known her and socialized with her?
Well, now that you're pointing it out, I'm not quite sure. She looked like she always been mid-40s when it's been, well, 70 years.
Once again, 70 years and not a single wrinkle on her face. How is that possible? She's a witch. She practices witchcraft. That's the only reason. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
All right.
Some help, please. Sure. Come on. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Here you go. Bye.
Do you have another witness? Yes. The defense called the Stabbington brothers.
The brothers? You can call 2 witnesses at once. First, they don't fit in the witness box. Second, they'll be talking at the same time.
Yara, we beg for an exception. The brothers do not know how to talk individually, and I promised them they could testify together. Please, it's the only way. You know what? I know it. Oh, thank you, Yara.
name for the record.
Sideburns, stabbing turns.
This is why it's not possible for the type of people to take the stand.
That's all we, Your Honor. We just need a little bit of organization. You on the right. No, my right. The other right. Yes, you start. Sideburns, stabbing turns.
Please, spell your last name for the record.
Sideburn, stabbing turns.
No, you need to spell them. Tell me letter by letter how your name is written.
Oh, I don't know how to write.
Well, find me a solution and do it quickly. We are not going to spend 3 hours on this.
Your Honor, can I please give the reporter, the witness, and the papers?
First of all, show me these papers. Here you go. You can give them to the reporter and please be quick so that we can go on. Oh my God.
Can the other witness state their name?
Patchy, stabbing.
You don't need to. Never mind. Please stand. Raise your right hand. Do you promise that the testimony you shall give in the case before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You may be seated.
So, I'd like to ask you a few questions about your relationship with Flynn.
Flynn Rider?
Where is that?
That jerk. You don't seem to like her very much.
No.
We don't.
And why do you not?
He's a liar.
So, would you say that is deceptive?
Deceptive?
Someone whose word cannot be trusted?
Oh, yes, he is.
And why would you say that?
We were a team, but he abandoned us.
So, how did you meet Flynn?
We first saw him on a drawing.
Could you please stop this ping-pong? Talking one after the others makes it difficult and tiring to keep up with your interaction.
Yes, Joanna, don't worry, I'm nearly done with them. I mean, I no longer have questions for them, but I would like this one-page poster of Mr. Fitzherbert to be displayed as Defense Exhibit A once again.
Oh, wow! You may proceed.
Thank you, Joanna. I just need to add, as you have just seen, dear jurors, that the word of our dear Flynn here cannot be taken into account, as he spent his time lying to get what he wants. He's just a criminal who deceives everyone and who used this word to trick Rapunzel. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry, pretty hot. Does the prosecution have anything to ask these witnesses?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Lucas only questioned you about your relationship with Mr. Ryder, which surprises me. So I would like to know how you met Mother Gothel.
Mother Gothel? Who is she?
The woman sitting over there.
Oh, yeah.
We do know her.
Otherwise, why else would you be here?
Oh, you don't know why we are here?
Mr. Lucas asked us to come here.
To talk about the woman that helped us in the forest.
Oh, and what did she do to help you?
Well, she gave us a lot of money.
To help her find a girl.
And did she give you any information about this girl she was looking for?
Well, she said she had long,
very long brown hair.
And do you know why she was looking for her?
She said it was her daughter.
She had run away.
Run away? What an interesting choice of words when you're looking for a cherished daughter who had just fled home. Do you know why she asked you to find her daughter?
We don't know.
But she offered us a lot of money.
Only to find her daughter?
Yes, but...
She also let her choose what to do with Flynn Rider.
Dear jurors, as these two very respectable gentlemen have told us, they were hired by Mother Gothel to find her daughter Rapunzel, who had fled home. However, when a kid runs away from home, from what they consider to be their family, it's usually not because of a teenage crisis. So Mother Gothel decided to hire 2 killers, known killers actually, to pursue a young girl of 18 years old and bring her back to the place where she had been kept for 18 years. I do not know how you could consider this woman as innocent. Thank you, Your Honor. I have no further questions.
Well, Mr. Lucas, do you have another witness?
Yes, Your Honor. The defense calls Mrs. Gothel.
Please state your full name for the record.
Esther Gothel.
Please stand. Raise your right hand. Do you promise that the testimony you shall give in the case before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So I forgot?
I do.
You may be seated.
Miss Gothel, how good it is to see you here today.
I wish I could say the same.
Well, my poor dear. First of all, how are you feeling? Having to present yourself in court for such an inconceivable reason. I can't imagine the pain you must be going through.
It's hard. I've never thought I'd see the day.
And to think, betrayed by your own daughter. It's unthinkable, isn't it?
Yes, it's heartbreaking.
All the sacrifices, all the losses you've gone through to take in a child, turning your whole life upside down. You spent a month trying to restore an old tower, which was frankly quite horrendous at first, just so that it could measure up to the expectations of yours, to the expectation of this infant. Isn't this correct?
Yes, this is correct. I gave everything to her. I provided a home to her. I sacrificed everything. And now...
You did make it into a very beautiful tower, huh? So tall and pretty. Very clean too, which is quite impressive. I mean, with all kinds of natural phenomena, I'm surprised it's still standing there. Big thing. So I honestly cannot work it out. How do you keep it so clean?
Oh,
if it's a product in particular, please do tell us. Because I'm telling you, my house is nearly looking as clear as yours.
I just use a base of baking soda and water. It's very effective in stone walls.
Fascinating. But my question is, how do you get to the top of the tower? Do you have a very long ladder?
No ladder is high enough, you silly. Only Rapunzel was able to help me climb it, thanks to her hair, obviously.
So it wasn't a coincidence you've settled for a tower, then?
Of course not. I was only trying to protect her. Since this tower is unreachable, I thought no one could hurt her, if she was up there.
I see. So you just did your part as a mother, wanting to protect a child from external dangers like outlaws.
Obviously, I still cannot believe I'm being accused of such an evil intent, when all I wanted to do was to do good around me. This is so cruel. I just found an abandoned child and took her in. Life is so unfair.
I absolutely agree with you, my dear. You deserve better. And for how long exactly have you been looking after Rapunzel?
Ever since I found her on my way back from the market in the forest.
You claim to have found her in the forest?
Yes, that's right.
So, you didn't kidnap her?
Of course not. How could I do such a thing? How could I take a child away from her parents?
Your Honor, I have no further questions.
Does the prosecution have any question for the defendant?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
You may proceed.
Thank you. Mother Gothel, you claim that you were taking care of Rapunzel with nothing but good intention. Is that correct?
I do. I did take care of her. No matter what anyone says, she is my daughter.
Yes, all good intentions indeed. However, did you take her away from her parents? And why do you do it?
I didn't. She was all alone. She wanted a mother. I needed a child. I killed 2 birds with 1 stone.
If you wanted a kid as much as you claim to, you would have made some on your own.
It's true, but who am I to deny a child in need of a family? Is it wrong to want to give love to an abandoned child?
It's true that taking in an abandoned child is it's a good action. However, it wasn't the case with Rapunzel. She was abducted when she was merely a few weeks old from the palace.
I'm sorry that His Majesty the King and Her Majesty the Queen had to go through such hard times. But I found the child. She was alone, crying, calling for help. I took her in. I raised her.
Are you sure it wasn't for the power of the flower? Do you want to harvest it for yourself?
Of course not. Why would I do such a thing?
Immortality, of course. Look at yourself. More than 70 years old and not a single wrinkle on your face. Why else would you do it?
This is nonsense. I did age a bit. I'm just using high-quality treatments on my skin, and I often dye my hair.
Nonsense indeed. Were you aware that there were no traces of breaking in the palace the day that Rapunzel disappeared?
I wouldn't know.
Your actions make no sense, and you keep contradicting yourself. Just admit that you've kidnapped her.
I didn't. How many times do I have to tell you? I found her by the river, and she was all alone.
By the river? But you just said that you found her in the forest.
Well, yes, by the river in the forest.
By the river in the forest. You are aware that this is very close to the palace. Have you not seen the guards looking for the princess?
No,
Surely you did. They were all over the palace and all over the kingdom looking for Rapunzel. How could you still not know that she was the princess?
Well,
However, you did know, right? If you were the one breaking into her room and kidnapping her, you must have done witchcraft to do so as well, because you're a witch.
How could I have done this? Do you have any proof of what you're saying?
I think I've got enough proof to say this. You have not aged a single bit until Rapunzel lost her powers, and you're still obsessed with her hair. We saw you reaching for it.
These are all coincidences. And as for reaching for Rapunzel, it's my daughter. Of course I would try to.
These are odd coincidences, don't you think? Okay, let's say you're right. Would you explain to us why you've aged decades since Rapunzel lost her powers?
Well,
Bailiff!
Stay here.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
The defendant is excused. So, both the prosecution and the defense have now tasted the case. The attorneys will now present their final arguments. Please remember what the attorneys say is not evidence. However, do listen closely. They are intended to aid you in understanding this case. Prosecution, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen, in my opening statement, I mentioned that I would prove that my client has been a victim of atrocities since she was a child. The evidence has shown that this horrible woman kidnapped my client when she was merely a few weeks old. And not because, as she wishes you to believe, she wanted a kid of her own, but because of the powers she possessed and the immortality she could gain from it. She wanted to use my client Rapunzel as an object, and no one deserves to be treated as an object. As a result of the defendant's selfishness, she ruined my client's childhood, locked her up in a tower with no friends to interact with, no parents, no real parents, after all. She was alone with only a person who kept her for her personal interest and gain. Furthermore, she kidnapped Rapunzel, a member of the royal family, from within the palace grounds. Therefore, she could not have ignored the link between the princess and the royal family. It makes no sense that enemies of the crown would be the ones who have kidnapped Rapunzel and then left her in the forest, because that's not how it works. People of that kind usually just kill the hostage or ask for a ransom, which did not happen. Miss Mother Gothel decided to keep the daughter with her during 18 years, which means that she is the one who has kidnapped her. Moreover, the testimony of my client and the witnesses proved that the defendant, while Rapunzel had managed to escape, had employed henchmen to find her, and not only to find her, but also to kill the one person who allowed her to escape, Mr. Flynn Rider. She also tried to kill directly Rapunzel when she realized that she had no more powers and would not be useful anymore. She did not stop, but Flynn Rider put himself between Rapunzel and Mother Gothel. There was intention to kill, be it for Rapunzel or for Flynn Rider. It means that she is also guilty of attempted murder. And finally, I enjoin you to find her guilty of witchcraft. She used her powers to live for decades, centuries, using the powers in Rapunzel's hair, to become immortal. The fact that her longtime friend has never seen a single wrinkle on her face is proof enough. And also, there was no other way for her to get into the palace to kidnap Rapunzel. I don't think I have anything much to add, Your Honor. Thank you.
Good. Defense, you may proceed with your closing argument.
Sure. Your Honor, and ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we have heard the prosecution side on this case. And, now it's my turn. As you have been shown throughout this trial, my client is innocent. So innocent that she's been blamed for her goodness, for being a loving mother to an abandoned child. Among all of the elements that have been presented to you, none of them, and I said none of them, can allow you to declare my client guilty without a reasonable doubt. I mean, there are all consequences. There is no conclusive evidence. There's the conclusive evidence. It's just one word against another. And no one saw my client go into the castle. No one saw my client getting out of the castle with the princess. No one can testify that my client tried to murder anyone. Nope. And Mrs. Gothel here is a gentle and caring person. Yes, you are. Yes, she might have had to abandon her daughter, but she was still a perfect mother to Rapunzel. Look at how she turned out. She's good, she's kind, she's sweet, she's, just like her mother. My client is the only victim of her kindness. What if she didn't age a lot? Skincare products and plastic surgeries are popular these days. A couple of shot products can do the trick. The prosecution claims she aged decades as soon as Rapunzel lost her so-called powers. It was only due to the stress and despair of losing her daughter. She was heartbroken. What would you do? She was heartbroken. She was heartbroken. And anyways, Mrs. Gothel is a youthful and healthy person. But does that prove anything? Nope, certainly not. So before you make a decision, please remember the defendant is nothing but a kind and loving mother who wants wanted to raise the child she would never have been able to have on her own. Should she be punished for love? For taking in a child in need of a mother? Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you have heard of the evidence about this case. Now it is up to you to decide if Mother Gothel is guilty of any of all charges proceeded against her. You, and you alone, are the judge of the facts. So we will ask you, by a noise vote, whether you think Mrs. Gothel is guilty of kidnapping a member of her royal family?
Yes.
Yes.
Ah oui.
Ah yeah, please make some noise. Woo! Ah, if you disagree, say no. No. Well, the yeses prevail.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it is. The judge decides. Corruption.
Second, if you agree that Mother Gothel is guilty of attempted murder, please say yes.
Yes!
If you disagree, say no.
No!
Yo, really? Yes, really. I don't care. The yeses prevail.
I think I made more love.
Pardon?
I think I was louder than everyone here.
That's right.
I'm right.
Doesn't matter, the judge decides.
She's right.
Yeah.
Not guilty.
Finally, thank you. Finally, if you agree that Mother Gothel is guilty of witchcraft, please say yes.
Yes!
If you disagree, say no.
No. Since when witchcraft
The
is a
yeses.
crime?
What?
Since when witchcraft is a crime?
Totally agree.
Since always.
Objection.
Alright, the yeses prevail. Ladies and gentlemen, Mother Gothel is found guilty of witchcraft, attempted murder, and kidnapping.
Wait, you don't have my approval, young man.
Yes, 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 I want, yes. Allez, c'est parti. Yes.
They left without me. Now this is rude. I must take my leave too then.
Et ben, on va pouvoir rappeler nos acteurs et leur donner un micro.
Quatrième.
Avant de vous laisser aller profiter du petit apéro qu'on va aller mettre en place en bas, j'aimerais quand même faire quelques remerciements. Tout d'abord, remercier nos acteurs de nouveau qui ont fourni un travail incroyable cette année et une pièce exceptionnelle. Merci à eux. Ensuite, j'aimerais remercier les scripteurs de l'association qui ont écrit la pièce de A à Z, parce que sans eux, il n'y aurait même pas eu ça non plus, donc merci à eux. Également remercier tous nos partenaires cette année. Tout d'abord Emmaüs qui nous a prêté les costumes, Emmaüs des Essarts, merci à eux énormément. J'aimerais également remercier Impulsion qui nous a permis de partager la pièce dans les bus sur les écrans, donc merci à eux, vraiment c'est... J'aimerais aussi remercier #info qui fait la captation filmique de la pièce, qui sera d'ailleurs disponible sur leurs réseaux sociaux, sur YouTube, Instagram et sur leur site. Merci à eux. J'aimerais aussi remercier la faculté qui nous a fourni des locaux toute l'année avec lesquels on a pu s'entraîner, et pour ce soir également, merci à eux énormément. Merci à l'administration du pôle universitaire qui nous a soutenus toute cette année, Madame Ansart, Madame Prunier notamment, qui nous ont apporté un soutien inconditionnel, sans qui on n'aurait jamais pu arriver jusque-là. Merci énormément. Et pour finir, j'aimerais vous remercier vous d'être venus ce soir et d'avoir pu observer notre projet de cette année. Maintenant, on va aller mettre en place un petit apéro et vous pourrez retrouver les acteurs dans quelques minutes. Ils vont juste aller changer rapidement. Et merci à tous.